connect the dots looking forward, as Steve Jobs said.
That's so
All
true.
of us, right? Like all of us
So
need,
true.
like, are there things I'd wish I'd known? Yeah, I would have like loved to be born knowing I was a spiritual being in a human body,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And, we learn so much through contrast. And
Mm.
so to say like, what would I go back and do different? Like everything. But what do I wish I'd known? Everything.
All of it. Yeah.
All of it. But I think probably the biggest thing that I really do think all of us, if we'd known it, wow, like how would have that changed things? Is to not question your instincts. So
Mm.
I remember there's probably a million times in my marriage and in my teaching career that I had these little intuitive hits, like this isn't right, or this would be a great time to exit stage left,
Yeah.
and I shoulded myself. I pushed those
Mm.
voices down and said, no, because, and I like talked myself into so many
Mm.
things that didn't feel right to me and seemed off.
Mhm.
And I think that would be the thing that I'm very grateful that in the moment I noticed it and shoved it down, because at least I noticed it, because now
Right?
when I hear that
First step.
voice,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. But I think that's the thing, is like if you're getting an instinctual hit and you
Mm.
have to talk yourself out or into something, that's a telltale sign that you are going against your higher self. So I
Mm.
say trust your instincts and trust that little voice inside, because it's never going to steer you wrong. The voice was always right. And me talking myself into or out of things the voice was guiding me toward never helped. So that would
Mm.
probably be the one thing, if there was a thing. And I'm still learning how to listen to that voice, of course. Like
Yeah.
I've not reached the pinnacle of life by any means. Like I'm still learning everything.
Yeah. And I fully believe that as well, that we're on this human journey, right? And as we learn and as we evolve our consciousness, our expression on this earth, then there's another, right? And not in like that, oh no, another thing, but like, oh, like, hey, there's more here for me,
Yeah.
which is exciting. And so did you have guides and mentors along the way? And if
Oh
so,
yeah.
what role did they play for you? Because I know that that's a big part of what you do now.
Yeah, so I had so many guides and mentors along the way. The primary one was when I went to that event in Los
Mm.
Angeles a couple months after, the stuff happened. Um, I was skeptical. I was a little bit of a skeptic, and I walk into this ballroom and everybody's like dancing and happy. And I was like a little emo, so I was like, what are you guys so happy about? Um,
Yeah.
so
What is this, a
so
cult?
yeah. So I was skeptical. And then when they read her bio, the intellectual side of my mind was like, oh, this woman has like some street cred and some credentials and she's done
Yeah.
some things. And then she spoke. And
Hmm.
as soon as she spoke, like my DNA moved around in my body. It was like she shifted my cells around. It was this resonance.
Mhm.
And so I enrolled to get coaching with her. I enrolled to become a coach, which was crazy, because this great part of me was like, you're a broke divorced school teacher. Who the hell wants that as a life coach? But I just looked at this woman and I'm like, she's a speaker. She inspires people.
Mm.
She's loving. She has great results. This is everything that you have wanted but shoved down. And so I enrolled to get mentorship with her. It was $26,000. I didn't have that much money. Again, the voices were like, oh, here you go again, getting into debt. And I was like, whatever, I'm already at rock bottom. So like,
Right.
how
Bring
much
it.
worse can it get? And so I jumped, and I've been getting mentorship from Mary ever since. And I've been in her highest end programs and coaching programs, and I will never go without support again. Because the deal
Mm.
is, as my good friend and mentor, Matt Boggs, says, when you're inside the frame, you cannot see the picture. And
Mhm.
so I realized I spent a lot of life inside the frame, like trying to see the picture.
Right.
And it's just so much easier with support. And the
Yeah.
support has catapulted me like 10 times faster than I could have ever done myself.
Yeah. And so where are you today? Like, we've had the kind of story, and I would love for people to hear kind of where you are in this moment and what's going on in your life.
Yeah. So I started my coaching business. I guess it
Woohoo.
was, let's see, 3 months after my husband came home and said, I don't love you. So it was pretty fast turnaround time. And again, because I was so connected to my affirmations, I truly believe that that
Mm,
was the catalyst, and because I stayed with those affirmations.
mhm.
But yeah, so I started my own coaching business. The day I enrolled in coaching certification, I submitted my letter of resignation to teaching.
Wow.
And that was what I knew I needed to do, because I knew I had this side business for like 5
Mm.
years that wasn't doing anything, and I thought, "Okay, I'm living with my parents, little safety blanket. Yeah, I'm broke, but, who cares? I've been broke my whole life." So, whatever. And so, yeah, so I just dove in. I knew I had 4 months left of the school year, so I'm like, "Okay, that gives me a little bit of time to at least enroll 1 client or 2, you know?"
Yeah, yeah.
And, I just knew that I needed a fire under my ass if I was gonna really
Mm.
do this, and so I put in my resignation, and then I'll just fast forward, 3.5 years, I guess it is. I have a coaching business that will do probably between six and $700,000 this year. I am newly engaged to the freaking love of my life. Like, he is
Mm.
the best.
Mm.
And I was thinking of it this morning. We went in to take one of our cars to be serviced and came back to the house. We're drinking coffee together, and you have your little sleepies in your eyes, and just being like so exposed to someone, but being
Mhm.
loved so deeply in
Yeah,
them. Like, it's the best. It's just
it
bliss.
truly is. It truly is.
Yeah. So, highly successful coaching business, the relationship that I always dreamed of. And then
Mm.
I've just been able to help so many people. And I think that's the icing on the cake. Is it's wonderful to watch all these cool things emerge in my own life. Oh, I got a new car. Oh, I'm living by the ocean now. Like, I don't want to minimize that, because it is really special.
Yeah.
And nothing is like knowing that you have helped to change. You don't change someone's life as a coach. You help to
Mhm.
change the trajectory of their life. And that has
Yeah.
been the most impactful, that I've impacted so many people, is
Yeah.
that's the deal.
Same. All the feelings.
Yeah. All
All
the
the
feelings of like,
feelings.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty amazing for someone who brings nothing to the table.
Yeah. In the beginning, there was this part of me, and I'm glad, there's an emotional spiral that you go up, and
Mhm.
anger is a higher vibration than despair, believe it or not.
Yeah,
So
true.
part of me was like, watch me bring nothing to the table, and that gave me a little like fire. But then pretty quickly I realized, oh my God, this is so much more than proving myself. This is
Yeah.
like soul stuff, and this is
Yeah.
people's lives, and this is like the spiral of becoming. This is
Mhm.
everything. And so it only took me like a month or two to be angry, and then and then I was like, okay, actually I want to impact people. So it
Yeah.
was a much
Yeah.
deeper vision, but I needed that first little boost, I think, because you got to walk
Yeah.
yourself up the vibrational scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I guess any tips, any suggestions, any guidance for our listeners? And I know that you do have like an amazing freebie for people. So would love to
Yeah.
hear about that, and then also how they can connect with you, and then what your tips and suggestions and advice would be.
Yeah, so I think the main bit of advice is, I don't know, I wish I could just impart this. I wish I could send like my vibration out around the world, that your listeners could actually feel this, but the truth is, it doesn't matter where you start.
Mhm.
Your mind is designed, your subconscious mind, the way your brain works, the way neural pathways get created, it's designed to adapt so fast.
Mhm.
So if you just dedicated yourself to telling a different story from this moment on, your life will change so fast. And I think that sticking with, I mean, obviously, I have so much training now and I've taken so much mentorship, but really it all comes down to, how fast are you willing to change the story? And
Mm.
if you're willing to just be like, that's done, I'm in here now, it's not that it's not rigorous. It's just, once you make that commitment to never getting complacent in today's story and always looking at tomorrow's story as where
Mm.
you're headed, things can move so quickly and so fast. And I really haven't had an affirmation or a vision image that I've held in my mind that hasn't come true up until now.
Wow.
And so just knowing that no matter where you are today, you bring nothing to the table today, you don't like yourself, you're in the middle of a divorce, you live at home, you're broke, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter, because your brain and your soul mostly wants to express and be dancing
Mhm.
and singing now.
Yeah.
So just let it go.
Yeah.
And I remind I'm speaking to myself now too, because at this level, I still have stories
Mhm,
and I'm ready for
mhm,
my next level story. So I'm ready to
mhm.
affirm the next thing, So what I've created for your listeners is my 30 most favorite affirmations for, in particular,
Mm.
changing the self image and self confidence.
Oh,
These are ones
amazing.
that I use all the time currently. My favorite one, I'll just give a little sneak peek, is I love who I am and I love who I'm becoming.
Ooh,
Yeah. And so I
powerful.
use that one every day currently. So the actual
Mm,
website they will go to is soulsavvy.org. So soulsavvy.org, soulsavvy.org/power. Because when you
perfect.
use these affirmations, you will find your inner power.
Hold on, things are about to change.
Yeah. Buckle
Yeah,
up.
buckle up. And so, for my listeners, all of those will be in the show notes as well. So, you can get all of the links to Lauren's amazing download, her website, her Facebook, her Instagram. And Lauren does have phenomenal coaching programs that she supports people through. So, if that feels like a fit, I would really, really encourage you to reach out to Lauren.